Good evening and welcome to The Business Coach, a show in which you out-help entrepreneurs better their businesses. My name is Ian Dennis, and tonight on the show I'm joined by two guests, Mr. Mark Mongela, the CEO of Pesa, and Peter Washira, the founder of Nairobi Beans. So thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
So something very interesting, you guys are telling me that you're Manchester United fans.
Well, I guess
so clearly here I'm your rival today.
We're on this side.
Yeah, I can see.
To make any jokes.
I can see. I'm your rival, but anyway, today we're going to make peace right here. So thank you guys for joining us on the show. So let me just start off probably maybe with Peter, just telling us a bit about Nairobi Beans. What exactly is it that you guys do?
So Nairobi Beans is basically, first it's Nairobi Beans.
Nairobi Beans?
Yes.
See Nairobi Beans?
See Nairobi Beans.
Nairobi Beans.
Yes.
All right.
So basically we deliver pre-cooked, pre-boiled legumes that are frozen to people's homes all over Nairobi. We prep them, we do all the work that goes into ensuring your dengu is ready, and then we deliver them frozen. So for the person who gets the order, all they do is cook them for a few minutes, fry them, however they like them, and it's ready. They place their orders either on our website or on our social media handles or calling us, whichever way.
Interesting. Is this not beans alone? You've said dengu, what else? Because you mentioned
we have 15 items so far. So there are many. There are regular beans, the ones that you know.
Yeah.
Then there's the dengu, there's butter beans, the chickpeas, the cowpeas.
Wow.
We have black butter beans, white butter beans. So
you educate me.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Bosho na madondo.
Zikomingi.
We'll show you what else the legume industry has to offer.
Interesting. And Mark, Pesa, what does Pesa do?
Cool. So we're Pesa, we're a payment service provider. We enable businesses such as Nairobi Beans to be able to accept payments, digital payments.
Yeah.
So when their customers come to pay them, whether they do that online or they pay them when they're delivering, they'll get a digital payment option, Visa cards, mobile money, and such as well.
Interesting. So all of you are entrepreneurs and are the leadership helm of your different enterprises. And we just, what's it called? We are almost past this pandemic because even as you're speaking right now, the president of SEMA, the curfew has been extended to 11. But let me just find out, because it's been around 7 months we've been through this. How hard has it been in terms of just managing the business?
I think COVID is one of those pandemics that nobody saw. Nobody imagines there's something that can affect every business, and now it's global.
Yeah.
Every country shuts down. And so we saw a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, good things where businesses were willing to now look at other options, and I think that's why digital has really taken a front. But there are a lot of businesses that were affected. You cannot ignore the businesses that depend on customers that walk in, businesses involved in travel, along the tourism chain. So you have some wins, some losses.
And interestingly, all of you are essential services in the food business, in the financial services, also when you're trying to push for digital transactions. Maybe what are some of the lessons that this period has brought? Or maybe from your observation with customers, did they embrace your, the digital side of, making their orders?
So for us, at least, we are purely digital. So we kind of were ready on the digital front, but what COVID brought was an uptick in people finding out about us and trying us out. Yeah. So there's this thing people say that having too many orders is not a bad thing, but in reality, how that order is carried out to the end is what matters. So the hard part, I think, for businesses like mine, I guess, was yes, the orders are coming in, but you have to try your best to make sure everybody gets a good experience, because we depend on the return orders. So if this guy doesn't get a good experience in this first trial where they're feeling things are not the same, we're trapped at home, we can't leave, we want to try this online thing. So if the experience is good, you have a customer for life. If it's not, then they'll try other things, waiting for the president to say, kumefunguliwa, let me go back to what I used to do.
Interesting. And for Mark, there's been a lot of push from the government and different stakeholders, people embracing digital transaction, digital payments. Maybe from your observation running Pesa, what are some of the things you've identified, about customer behaviors, most of Kenyans? When they say Kenyans, you're queer.
I think Kenyans are interesting, but globally, even when you look at consumer behavior, when the pandemic came along, when it started affecting everybody was shutting down. One thing we saw is consumers stopped spending they just focused on the essentials. Yeah, so there are categories such as food, milk, things for the house, safety items. I mean, who used to buy gloves, masks, you know, and the things that we need to keep ourselves safe. So we saw a lot of change in the shift to such categories, and then less and less of the things that they didn't need. Interestingly, you know, some of the steps that you see, like locally here, the government through CBK engaged the telcos, and the telcos dropped their fees, and also the issue of customers being given options on their loans so they don't have that pressure. And so typically somebody who has never used a digital payment before had that option, because you're not easily moving around, somebody's coming to deliver to you, and you have an option to actually use a digital payment. So we saw tremendous growth on the adoption of, you know, digital payments.
Interesting. Yeah. And something quite interesting is that this period brought a lot of quote-unquote entrepreneurs, because a lot of, what's it called, people, they were either fired from their workplaces, or maybe their businesses went down. And also in your business, the food business, there's a lot of entrants. And you're talking to it earlier, but each and every week you're monitoring new entrants coming to it. How much did that quote-unquote new competition affect your business?
Competition is good and bad. It just depends on how you look at it, because the people coming into the industry that you're in, they have their own motivations. So some of them are coming in just to survive during that period. Others are coming in to just see if this can be their new vehicle for surviving now times past Corona. So competition with, especially on social media, you see it coming up. You know, if it was physical locations, you may not know there's another shop 10 kms away from you, but now you know there are 3 other guys who started this week, and they're all doing the same thing you're doing. So it can be daunting, but I think personally, I look at Nairobi is very big, especially when it comes for food, and I think there's space for everyone. But the longer term game is for the person who will hold out longest.
The longest.
Yes.
Survival for the fittest.
Survival for the fittest.
Literally.
Yes.
Mark, you were joking earlier on about you being at the helm at Pesa, and one of the ways that you had those particular drop-dead moments where you went used to time and trying to communicate to your team. So take me through how exactly did you maneuver this?
I think
because there's a lot of uncertainty amongst the team, and you're at the helm, and everybody's looking at Mark.
If you think about, you know, when you go through situations that you've thought through before, you usually have a plan, and you say this is plan A, this is plan B, this is plan C. Nobody sits down and tells you in 1 week the country is going to shut down, and every other country around is going to shut down. You're not able to move. Nobody, I mean, customer service, marketing, and all these departments are departments that come together to the office, sit down, craft out the ideas, and then, you know, so within a very short time, you have so many key decisions to make on a new environment you've never thought about, because now there's this thing called remote working. There's this thing called curfew you've never experienced. Your business is being affected in itself. You know, for us, travel was a big sector that we processed payments for, and so when the hotels are closing down, the airlines are no longer operating, the tour operators are shutting down. So it's this whole environment of uncertainty, and at the end of the day, as a person who's seated there, everybody is expecting you to say, what is next for the business? What is next for us? Because when you look around, businesses were closing down, people are losing their jobs. And so everybody wants to know, okay,
what's our fate?
Where are we in our business? What's going to happen next? And so for me, what I saw is, while you want to engage people a lot and talk to them, you know, always people are perceiving you from, you know, are we safe? You have to be able to communicate safety. Is business going to grow? Are things working out for us? So it was a catch-22 for me. I think it's my first experience ever to go through an uncertain moment where I myself don't know, you know, what works or what won't.
And as a leader, what are some of the lessons that this period bring to you?
Just learn to talk to people. You don't always have to take communicate. Communication is not memos. It's not emails. It's not that official WhatsApp chat. It's you calling people and interacting with them and just telling them the truth. Just tell them the truth. Where is the business? Where do you see things that are working? For me, the biggest lesson is communication is not a piece of paper or some official communication from big office to the rest. It's just keep talking to the people, be honest, and you know, more and more people, you find more people willing to work for the business so that we can get out of it together than one person telling everyone how then we write the ship.
Interesting. And Peter, something interesting about the model, or rather how was it called? Your team, is that also family is involved.
Yes.
You've mentioned to me that your mom is involved in the business, your brother is also involved in the business. How did you manage it as a family running a business through this turmoil?
This corona has brought the whole story for, we were all locked down. So we had to make it work because you're already in the house together. So it actually gives you things to do other than deciding who's washing the dishes, who's doing what, who's doing what. So it gives us, it gave us something else to do. And now that we have added a few other people to help, it has now given, there's purpose now, there's purpose. As much as like my younger brother, he's way younger than I am, but he's learning things that he probably wouldn't have learned before. Because I've had to tell him, okay, now you're going to help me do this, you're going to help me do this. And there's a lot of things you end up learning, and you also learn to work, see your family under pressure sometimes, and see how we handle it. So it has been good. This has been a learning experience.
Interesting.
Yes, still is.
So on that particular note, we're going to take a short commercial break, but I want to let you guys know that this show has been brought to you courtesy of Visa. So what you guys need to do is go to the Visa website, that's www.visa.co.ke, and go check out the hub, because there's a lot of information about entrepreneurship that you can gather to learn from there. And first of all, the first 100 people who get to register on the Visa hub get to win $200 worth of digital advertising. So go ahead there right now. So I'll see you after the break.